Hello everyone, welcome to Indian Economy by Aman Soni. In today's news hour, we would be discussing the important articles related to economy from the Hindu newspaper. In page 1, today there is a news about economy. Cabinet nod for new firm to monetize land assets. Currently what happens is, with various government public sector undertakings like the railways, telecommunications department, defense department, there are huge parcels of land which is unutilized. They are under the control of these departments, but they are not being used. Now the government has seen an opportunity to make revenue out of this unutilized land by monetizing them. What is asset monetization? As the name says, when you're trying to make some money out of an asset which is unutilized or underutilized, that process is called asset monetization. Now in order to make use of the assets of various public sector undertakings and the government holdings, the government is coming up with a new body called the National Land Monetization Corporation. The primary objective of this body is to make use of the unutilized and underutilized assets of the public sector undertakings, and it would get revenue for the government. This particular body can either lease the particular land asset, or if the PSUs are going for disinvestment, it can sell the land also. This would be set up under the administrative control of the finance ministry, and the body will hire private sector professionals with expertise who deal with the asset monetization in order to function. That's about the National Land Monetization Corporation. In the editorial page, there is an article about water management, water use, and agricultural crop efficiency. Let's go through it. The Global Water System Project, which was launched in 2003, is a joint initiative of ESSP, that is the Earth System Science Partnership, and the GEC, Global Environmental Change Program. And the main concern of this particular initiative is the human induced impact on the fresh water. How the human activities, that is the anthropogenic activities, are affecting the freshwater resources on the earth. The fourth report of the IPCC, that is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, it has established a link between the water use efficiency and how societies can become vulnerable if the fresh water is affected. And it gives a statistics that the gap between the demand and supply of fresh water will almost reach 40% by 2030. That means even though the people are wanting fresh water, the supply of it would be reduced by almost 40%. So there will be a mismatch of 40% between the demand and supply of fresh water on earth, and that is being mainly caused by the human induced activities. That is the main concern of this particular article. There was also a study by the Water Resource Group under the World Economic Forum, which highlighted that we have to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal 6, which makes sure that we have to ensure safe drinking water and sanitation for all. And even a United Nations World Water Development Report 2021 titled Valuing the Water has laid stress on the proper valuation of water, and the report says we have to consider few factors. That is, what are the particular water sources for fresh water, what is the current level of infrastructure that we have, what are the water services, and how much is the water being used as an input in production and for the societal development, and what are the socio-cultural values about the water with various communities across the world. And in order to mitigate the effect of this supply demand mismatch, The article suggests three measures, and one of them is the intra-basin and inter-basin transfer. Water basin is a particular area where the imbalance occurs between various spots. For example, if you see where the river systems are there, there would be floods in the rainy season, but at the same time there will be drought in some other place. So if we go for interbasin transfer, that is the water transfer between the same territory, we can rectify this imbalance. For example, by linking the rivers, we can rectify the supply demand mismatch by taking the surplus water from one place to a place where the shortage for water exists. But there are certain concerns with this, because the rainfall of even the surplus areas is now reducing, and we need to consider various factors like the present and future land use, what are the cropping patterns that are existing, what is the population growth in the areas to which the surplus water is being transferred to, what is going to be the level of urbanization, industrialization. So we need to consider all these factors, and we should not hurry up, and in future it should not affect the surplus area from where water is transferred, and that area should not become a deficit area. There are also other concerns. For example, the present capacity utilization in India. In 1950-51, the canal irrigation used to be contributing around almost 40% of the net irrigated area, but it reduced to just 24% by 2014 and 15. Now the groundwater area covers most of the irrigated area, which is around 62 percentage. And we know that by using lots and lots of groundwater, we are exploiting the water resource at a faster rate. And the article also talks about we are not using the grey water efficiently. Grey water is the household wastewater. If we can recycle that water, we could mitigate the water demand. But we are not using that grey water, and we are wasting that grey water by allowing it to go into the drain, and we are not recycling that water also. And even in India, when it comes to the crop productivity, we produce those crops which use a lot of water like rice, wheat and sugarcane, which are water guzzling crops. And the crop productivity and efficiency is very low in India compared to the other neighboring countries. And there is also a concern about discharge of grey water into the and industrial effluent into freshwater bodies and polluting the freshwater bodies. For example, we see various news reports about how the Bellandur lake in Bangalore and the Yamuna lake near Delhi, how there will be fog and white fog over the water resources. Because of the industrial pollutants, there will be a white layer of pollutants floating on the river systems. And another concern is the inefficient use of water in almost all sectors in India. For that, in order to mitigate on this, we need to focus on the water harvesting structures. We need to go for grey water management infrastructure, that is properly utilizing the household wastewater. Then we need to go for groundwater recharge, increasing the water use efficiency, because increasing the use in efficiency is as good as saving the water. And we need to also go for the reusing of the wastewater. The author concludes by saying that we need to have a hybrid management system wherein both the professionals and policymakers, along with the individual, community and the society, should come together and go for the conservation of water. Because just by having a policy we won't be able to achieve that. Only when the people and the communities who are getting affected by that particular policy, only if they come together, we can achieve something. In the business page, the articles are about how the increasing energy prices would affect the consumption growth and demand, which we have already discussed. Same with this article. Today you just need to read the headlines. We need not go through the details because we have already covered all the concepts related to this news. In the explainer we have an important news regarding a current affairs piece, the RBI is coming up with a new initiative called the UPI 123 Pay. And what is this UPI 123 Pay? The UPI 123 Pay is a UPI payment system for the feature phone users. Currently, the UPI has been a huge success for the smartphone users, and this particular technology is being adopted even by the other countries. But what about the people who are using feature phones? What about those people who do not have the smartphones? They should not be left out of the UPI payment system. And in our country, almost 40 crore of the people still use the feature phones. That is a numerical keypad phone, which are called feature phones. And previously, the RBI and the government had got the USSD based payment system for the feature phones, wherein we would dial a particular number called star 99 hash, just like how we used to previously check our SMS balance, where we would type star 123 hash, and we would press 1 for the balance, press 2 for any new offers, press 3 for dialer tones. On the similar basis, the USSD process used to work, where you need to pay, we need to type in star 99 hash, and then we need to press 1 for balance, 2 for transfer. But this process is cumbersome, because every time you have to press a number, wait for the message to come, then you have to again press the number 123. So it will take a lot of time, and multiple messages have to go and come for this transaction to happen. And all the mobile service providers do not support this USSD based payment system, and people used to get charged for this. The mobile service providers used to charge some fee for giving this service. So because of this, it had not become a success. Now the RBI has come up with a new upgraded version, a different version, wherein the feature phone users could do UPI transactions seamlessly. And what is this UPI 123 Pay? The people who have the feature phone, they would be onboarded, and their bank account will be linked to their feature phone, and they would set up a UPI pin using the debit card for authenticating their transactions. And using this UPI 123 facility, they can make peer-to-peer transaction, that is person-to-person transaction, as well as they can use this UPI 123 to pay to the merchants, that is they can purchase some goods and services and pay at the shop using the service. And four distinct options are available. The main feature of this is it doesn't need an internet connection. Without needing an internet connection, the transaction can happen here. And because almost 40 crore of the people use feature phones in India, and this service is providing UPI, bringing UPI to those 40 crore people, this will increase the amount of financial inclusion in the country. And we will get a question, without the internet, how will the payments happen? So here there are four different types of options available for making payment. One is through the interactive voice response, other is through the app based functionality, and there is the missed call facility and the proximity sound based payment. We'll look at it one by one. So what is the interactive voice response system? The person who wants to make a call, who wants to make the payment, would make a call from their feature phone to a particular number, and they would be registered for the payment system. And once he is registered for the payment system, he would be able to transfer money, recharge his mobile, pay EMI repayments, check the balance, and do so many other things. And in the missed call facility, the person who wants to make the payment would dial to a particular number displayed at the place of the shopkeeper, and by giving the missed call on that number displayed on that shopkeeper's place, the customer will get the incoming call. So once the customer receives the incoming call, it will get authenticated, and he has to enter the UPI pin on that call. So once he enters the UPI pin, a particular amount would be debited from the customer account and would be transferred to the merchant's account. This is how the missed call facility will work. And through the app based functionality, now even certain feature phones have the options to install basic apps, but they do not have the facility of scan and pay feature. Without the scan and pay feature, they can transfer money and get money and work. And when it comes to proximity sound based payment, It will use the sound waves to do the close contact payment system. And are there any countries which use the similar system? The mobile payment system which do not use internet and which are based on USSD and SMS technology were introduced many years ago in so many developing countries. And one of the example was the Vodafone's uh, company in Kenya known as the Safaricom, which was launched in 2007 itself. And there is this mobile service in Africa which is very famous called M-Pesa, which is used in so many countries like Congo, Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, and Tanzania, with almost 51 million customers making almost $300 billion of transaction throughout the year. So the the RBI, which has launched this UPI 123, is hopeful that even the 40 crore feature phone users in India will now be included under the UPI, and they would also get benefited from the seamless transactions that the UPI offers. These are the articles related to economy today. Thank you so much.